For 5 months, I carried a burden bigger than my duty to protect a tiny family I now call my own. I have spent every single moment beside him just because I could count how many heartbeats he had left. You think you know how time works, but there is an inner clock you don't understand. What you're about to hear is what it sounds like for a dog who knows a truth about his human that he cannot change. My name is Scout. I am a golden retriever service dog. Humans think my life is built on commands. Sit, stay, heal, alert, protect. They believe my world begins when they speak and ends when they praise me. They are wrong. My world is made of things they cannot hear. Invisible storms, tiny chemical changes, rhythms hiding beneath skin. The quiet language of survival. There is one sound I have never forgotten. I heard it years ago beside an old service dog named Ranger during my training. One afternoon, he completely refused every command and ignored his food. He walked over to his human, rested his heavy head on the man's knee, and simply refused to leave his side. The instructors couldn't explain it, but shortly after, a quiet finality settled over that bond, and the man was gone. The humans called it a strange coincidence. Every dog in that kennel knew better. Ever since then, I have feared hearing that rhythm change again. Our home smells like burnt coffee, crayons, and pancakes on Saturdays. It belongs to 3 of us: Thomas, his 9-year-old daughter Lily, and me. Thomas became my partner 4 years ago, after losing his wife unexpectedly. Everyone said I was assigned to help him manage severe panic attacks. That was true, but somewhere along the way, he stopped becoming my assignment. He became my family. Lily became my little human. She still ties colorful ribbons around my collar whenever she thinks no one is looking. Thomas pretends not to notice. I pretend I don't enjoy it. People often smile when they see my vest. They think being a service dog means I'm always brave. The truth is, it simply means I never get the luxury of looking away. Every breath, every heartbeat, every drop of stress moving through Thomas's body, I feel them all, long before he does. When grief begins forming inside him, I smell the change before tears reach his eyes. When panic starts climbing through his chest, I feel the tiny shift in his breathing before his hands begin to shake. When memories of his wife arrive without warning, I am already leaning against him before he knows he needs me. Thomas tells people, Scout always knows exactly when I need him. I wish that were true. Knowing is not always enough. Everything changed 5 months ago. It was an ordinary Tuesday. Rain tapped gently against the kitchen window. Thomas sat answering emails while Lily finished homework across the table. I walked between them, expecting another ordinary day. Suddenly, I freeze completely solid on the cold kitchen tile, as every single hair along my spine stands straight up like needles. The rhythm underneath Thomas's ribs had changed. It was like a familiar song suddenly missing a note. It wasn't a panic attack, no seizures, just an unmistakable shift on the rhythm of his inner man humans can't recognize. I circle around his legs twice in tight loops, pressing my wet nose firmly against his limp hand while listening intensely. It remained the same. I remembered Ranger, the old dog in my training days. For the first time since puppy days, I was afraid. Over the following weeks, Thomas noticed nothing unusual. I noticed everything. He rubbed his chest when he thought Lily wasn't watching. Humans call these little things. Dogs know there are no little things, only small warnings that become large realities. I stopped sleeping deeply. Every night I woke to count the rhythm again. Still there, still wrong. I plant my heavy paws firmly in front of the door, blocking his exit while staring directly into his confused eyes. Thomas laughed. "Move, buddy." I didn't. He scratched behind my ears. "You've never done this before." I leaned harder against his legs. He smiled. "You really don't want me going to work today, huh?" He stepped around me anyway. 2 hours later, his supervisor drove him home. Thomas had nearly collapsed during a meeting. Lily ran outside crying. The neighbors rushed over. An ambulance arrived. Humans finally heard what I had been listening to for weeks. Doctors began running tests. Machines surrounded him. Strangers spoke in careful voices. I lay flat beneath the cold metal hospital chair, counting every single heartbeat while keeping both eyes wide open without blinking. Eventually, they found something. Treatment started immediately. Hope. Lots of hope. Within weeks, Thomas looked stronger. He laughed again. The doctors smiled more often. One specialist even told him, "You're responding better than we expected." Lily danced through the parking lot. "We're going to be okay," she shouted. Thomas lifted her into the air. "We sure are." Everyone celebrated. Everyone except me, because the rhythm never changed, not once. The medicine quieted the symptoms. It never touched the countdown. From that day forward, I stopped letting him out of my sight. I shadow his exact footsteps into the kitchen, pressing close to his side as he walks toward the counter. I climb every single wooden step right behind him, keeping my eyes glued to his back with every upward movement. I march out onto the wooden porch and lay my entire heavy body across his bare feet, anchoring him down. I sit perfectly upright directly outside the closed bathroom door, ears perked up, waiting patiently for the handle to turn. I curl tightly beside the edge of his mattress, resting my chin on my paws to catch his every breath. Humans thought I had simply become more affectionate. They smiled. "Scout just can't get enough of you." If only they knew. I wasn't trying to be close because I loved him more. I was trying to stay close because I was terrified of losing him. Every room he entered felt safer while I could still hear his heart. Every doorway he disappeared behind felt like time stealing another chance from me. I knew I couldn't stop whatever was coming, but every instinct inside me refused to let him face even one moment of it alone. Then something lovely happened. Thomas began making plans again. Big plans, beautiful plans. One evening they spread papers across the living room floor. College savings, vacation brochures, birthday ideas. Thomas looked over at me. His smile faded just a little. "Buddy," he set the papers aside. "Come here." I walked over slowly. He kneels down low on the floor and places both of his warm hands firmly against the sides of my face. "You've been different lately." His fingers scratched behind my ears. Usually that made my tail move without thinking. It didn't move. "Are you getting sick?" His voice carried genuine worry. "Do I need to take you to the vet?" Oh, Thomas, if only that had been the problem. I pressed my forehead against his chest. The rhythm was still there, still wrong, still counting. I wished, more than I have ever wished for anything, that just this once you could hear yourself the way I could. Humans invented machines to listen to the heart. Dogs were simply born listening. That has always felt like both our greatest gift and our deepest sorrow. Because sometimes we can hear the storm, but we have no way to tell the person standing beneath it. Thomas hugged me. "You're such a good boy." I leaned into him as though I could somehow hold his heartbeat together by staying close enough. Thomas pointed to an old photograph of Lily sitting on the hood of his truck. "When you're 16, he laughed, "I'll teach you to drive that old thing." Lily giggled. "You'll scream the whole time." "I absolutely will." They laughed until neither of them could breathe properly. I walked beneath the coffee table and lay in silence. They were planning years. I was counting months. That night, I made a decision. If I could not stop the clock, I would remember everything. Not objects, moments, smells, voices, heartbeats. I didn't understand why. I only knew I needed to carry them somewhere, before time took them away. The next morning, I quietly began my own work. Not the work humans had trained me to do. The work no one would ever know I was doing. I bury my snout deep into the fabric of his worn flannel jacket, inhaling the deep scent of his hard day. I sniff the colorful crayons scattered across the kitchen table, memorizing the waxy scent of Lily's childhood days. I rest my head on the warm leather truck seat, soaking in the smell of their loud and happy laughter. Humans remember with photographs. Dogs remember with scent. Every familiar smell became another page I refused to lose. Weeks passed. The doctors remained encouraged. Thomas became stronger. He started jogging short distances again. Neighbors congratulated him. "You look fantastic." "I feel fantastic." I lowered my head. The rhythm beneath his ribs never agreed. A month later, another frightening morning arrived. Thomas's heartbeat suddenly stumbled. I reacted instantly. I throw my head back and bark loudly into the quiet room, letting out two sharp and urgent warning cries. I thrust my nose forward and forcefully nudge his cell phone completely off the table, sending it crashing down. Lily ran into the room. "Dad!" Thomas reached for his chest. Within minutes, paramedics filled the house. They stabilized him. He recovered. Again. Everyone praised me. "You saved him." Thomas hugged me tightly. "You did it again, buddy." I wanted so desperately to believe those words, but deep inside, I knew I had only delayed a moment, not defeated it. That evening, after Lily had fallen asleep, Thomas sat beside me on the back porch. The stars reflected softly across the yard. He scratched behind my ears the way he always did when his thoughts became too heavy to carry alone. "You've looked worried for months." He smiled gently. "I know. Dogs can't answer," he chuckled. "But sometimes I think you understand everything." He rested his forehead against mine. If anything ever happens to me, his voice faltered, look after my little girl. The night became perfectly still. I didn't move. I didn't blink. I simply leaned closer until my shoulder touched his leg. He smiled. I knew you'd understand. I never forgot those words. They became my final command. Not from a trainer, from my human. That night, I didn't sleep at all. I counted every heartbeat until sunrise. I kept hoping that eventually the rhythm would improve. It never did. The morning arrived. Nothing looked different. Coffee brewed in the kitchen. Birds argued outside the window. Lily complained about finishing her homework before breakfast. Thomas laughed. Pancakes first, homework second. She cheered. It was one of the happiest mornings we had shared in months. That frightened me more than any storm ever had, because the rhythm had become impossibly quiet, like a candle burning through its final thread of wax. Thomas drove Lily to school. She waved from the classroom door. Love you, Dad. Love you more. She turned back one last time. So does Scout, Thomas laughed. I know. Those were the last words they ever spoke to each other. Back home, Thomas settled onto the living room couch. He looked peaceful, almost relieved. I climbed slowly up onto the soft living room couch and rested my heavy golden head gently across his lap. The rhythm beneath his ribs fluttered, paused, returned, then faded again. I listened with every part of my being. I wished, I begged in the only language a dog possesses. Stay, please, stay. The final heartbeat came so quietly that even the house seemed afraid to breathe afterward. Then, silence. Complete. Unchanging. The world outside continued exactly as before. A lawnmower started somewhere down the street. Wind stirred the trees. The universe kept moving, even though mine had stopped. Hours later, voices filled the house, crying. Lily ran through the doorway. Dad? No answer. She fell beside him, her tiny shoulders trembling beneath grief far too large for a child to carry. I walked directly over to Lily without any hesitation and rested my heavy head right across her trembling knees, exactly where Thomas would have wanted me. Only then did I understand something my training had never taught me. I had protected Thomas from panic, from fear, from loneliness, from countless invisible battles. But when it mattered most, I couldn't prevent him from the inevitable. I had not failed my human. My final assignment had simply changed. Thomas asked me to look after Lily, and unlike the rhythm beneath his ribs, that was one promise I could still gladly keep, and I am willing to dedicate the rest of my life keeping. Tell me, if you knew with absolute certainty that someone you loved had only a little time left, but telling them would replace their remaining joy with fear, would you tell them? Or would you carry that burden alone, protecting their peace until their final heartbeat? What do you believe is the greater act of love?
Now that you have listened to this precious animals, let's hear your own voice in the comments. I see every one of them, and if this story stayed with you, please hit that subscribe button and share the hidden emotional lives of these lovely creatures. There is another soul waiting to share their story with you right now. Click the next video here to step into their world.